Alright, so we've reapplied power to the indoor unit. And we're just looking around to see what the different temperatures read. You can see the light bulb up there at 90 degrees. And that vent right there is one of the opened vents. This vent here is not opened, but the room right now is somewhere between 71.5 and 72. And then this vent over here is not open either. So, let's see if we can get this to kick on. It's telling us to wait. It says that it's 71 in the room right now, and it's set at 69, so it'll kick on. Normally we keep the rooms, if there's nobody in this part of the house, we keep it around 74 to 76 degrees. Or try to. If there's people here actively, then we'll run it down to 72 to 70, somewhere in there. Let's see what it does here. See if it kicks on at all. Says it should be, but it's telling us to wait. So usually after the power cycle, it takes a couple minutes for it to finally start running again. So there it clicked. 58. So the blower has not kicked on. Do not know if the outdoor unit is on, but I don't think I hear it. And that's not running. So the indoor unit is idle right now. Now I had to flip the breaker to get it to go to idle. The thermostat says that it's calling for the unit to turn on. There, the outdoor unit just kicked on. There, it sounds like the indoor unit is trying to kick on. And nothing. So let's go take a look at the cold side and see if it's cooling down. Because a lot of times this thing will kick on, pull 200 to 300 watts, start cooling. Yep, so there you can see it's cooling again. It is running. It is trying to cool the house, but the blower will not kick on. And the AC tech just keeps telling me, well, that's because you're in a fault state. Well, if I'm in a fault state, why is the AC still working? Why is it sitting there making cold air all day long, but just not circulating it? I'm going to show you that. Now, see, now that return, there is cold air coming out of the return right now. That is an inlet, not an outlet. But yet, it is dropping. The outdoor unit is running. We are pulling significant amount of power right now. But the blower won't kick on. The blower will not move that cold air. So if I stick a fan in front of this, it actually cools the room. I stick a fan in front of here and suck that cold air out into this living room, and it'll start to cool. So this is what I'm saying. The AC guy's wrong. It has nothing to do with cold air coming out of that register up top and falling straight into this return. and tricking the AC into thinking something's wrong because the thermostat sees that the room is one temperature, but yet it keeps getting wrong pressure readings. I'm saying one of those one of those pressure probes, a high or low pressure probe, is bad, or the board's inputs are bad. Something is giving this AC a false reading. They have replaced the board, supposedly. I wasn't here to see that. They've tested this thing a dozen times. We've tried different thermostats, and it still kicks off on an error. And the only way to reset the error is to pull the power on everything and reset it. And then it'll run for 30, 40 minutes, sometimes a couple hours, and it's back at that fault state again. But as you see right now, this thing is cooling. And I'll put a fan in front of there, and I'll suck that cold air out of there, and it'll cool this room down. Oh, there it went. Now it kicked on. So now you see that it is 62 up there. So we reset all the power in order to get everything to come back. So now it's 62 and 64. Well, right here on the floor, right in front of it. So this vent, you're seeing surface temperature there, but there's no airflow. That vent is cold, but there's, as you see, looking down along here, it's 73, 73, 73, 73, 73. And then right there, you get down into the 67s. Over here, you see the 60 coming out of there versus 63. 64. So you can tell what vent blows better. This register is closed. And if there was cold air falling, you'd see it pretty drastically. I wish I had an air meter to show you, but because that is still hooked up, you do get a temperature reading off of it, but there is no airflow. So there's nothing coming out of that vent to fall down and go in this vent. I mean, there's just nothing here. That one right there, I can feel actually moving air probably 15 feet out in front of it. You get over here and you can actually feel it. Yeah, right there you can feel it, and we're probably 10, 12 feet away. It shows that it's set to 71. I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, can't see it on here. Thermostat's set to 70 or set to 69. It is reading 71. Let's make sure this is still blowing. Yep, I can still feel it blowing. So full reset of the system. Now it's blowing. So to prove the theory from the AC tech that air is falling out of there, going right in here and tricking this thing, for one, this HVAC has been set up like this for 6 years or so without a single fault. The thermostat went bad a year or so ago, and that was replaced. And the AC tech that's come out a couple times said, well, I think it's your bad AC, your bad thermostat again. Your thermostat went bad again. So we replaced it again. Now, 3 thermostats in, and we still have the same problem. So this is where we're saying every thermostat on the shelf can't be bad. Something else. There's a bad sensor in this unit somewhere. So what I've done here is another thing. So we shut that vent, And then we put this table on top of the return. So you see the return is not obstructed in any way, but now it has a table above it. And the cold air, if it was able to fall out of there, would fall straight down, hit the table, swirl around. Eventually it would go into the return, but this does obstruct it and put some obstacles in its way. Since all the airflow is coming from that one over there, which is 20 feet away, the thought is we have disrupted the airflow. Now, what you see there is that 68 degrees. There is a cool zone there, and we don't know what that is from. But if you go into the HVAC closet and you disconnect this register here, just completely cut it off. At the main trunk, cut it off, which is easy enough. You just pull it off and put a plate over it, tape it up, a metal plate covering it. You then get all your cold air comes out over here. You get nothing there, and you get this one over here. Now this one, you can see the air is pushing straight down pretty hard by design. We've also taken this one off and flipped it upside down so that it blows the air straight to the ceiling. Again, trying to disprove that theory. But this cold zone, no matter what we do, we can shut all the vents in here, we can disconnect all those vents, you still get this cold zone down here. And when this thing goes into air, there will be no airflow out of any of these vents. These vents will go to room temperature. And that cold spot down there will drop to the high 50s. Maybe in the 58, 59 degree range. And the AC is still pulling hundreds of watts, but not blowing anything. So we'll stick a fan in front of the return and suck air out of it, and it'll cool the room. So I honestly think there's a bad sensor somewhere. It's telling this thing something's going on. Again, the HVAC has ran for 6 years without fail. There's nothing there. And then all of a sudden now we have to cycle the power on the AC unit once a day to keep it running. And the AC tech tells us, well, it's your airflow. Well, the registers never changed. They never moved. Why would we have two problems? So there you can see that you're 60 at the top, 70 at the bottom. And if we try to get these all in there, you can see your 59 over there, 70. So, ducts didn't change, and we started having problems every single day. If the ducts were the problem, you'd have had issues 6 years ago.